like that. And speaking of walking, we're going to be walking. The Muscatine Diabetes Walk is going to be May 4th.
That is correct.
Friday, May 4th, out at Discovery Park. I've been to this event several times. My family has been involved for many years. My mom was very involved with the Vision Center, which I know is a big supporter of the Muscatine Diabetes Project. When you go to this walk, it is a tremendous family event. We have, our youngest was in the stroller last year. We were going around the track. It's a 1.5 mile paved walk around Discovery Park, which is a perfect venue for this. And it's going to be on Friday, May 4th. And it's free for kids under 17, and it's only $10 for 18 and over. And that money is all staying locally here to fund these programs that the Muscatine Diabetes Project is funding in our community. This isn't going to the major pool, a lot of it. It's a small portion goes to the
that is true.
Fund,
Yeah, we decided, here in Muscatine, we've had diabetes awareness since 2005. And people may remember the Walk to Cure Diabetes, which is a JDRF event. And so all of that fundraising went towards diabetes research, which we felt was very important in helping individuals that live with type 1 diabetes. But this walk now celebrates individuals with all types. So the registration fee for adults is $10. And again, 95% of that is going to stay in Muscatine for our programs, and 5% will go towards research. We do partner with JDRF still, but also the American Diabetes Association.
Yeah, and those national organizations are so important in targeting areas that research can be most effective and new treatments. I was watching the NCAA basketball tournament over the weekend, and there's some new almost EpiPen style medications that are being used, and those are all of these new discoveries are coming from this type of research.
That is correct.
And this is a condition that while we can't control the autoimmune side of type 1, there are things that we can teach and educate to help prevent as many people as possible into the type 2. And this is it's important that we focus on it at our local level, because this is I don't know, I've had diabetes in my family my whole life. Both of my grandmothers developed type 2 diabetes. And so I was aware of it at a very young age, and most people have a similar story to that.
That is correct. And actually today, March 27th, is American Diabetes Alert Day. And so unfortunately, pre-diabetes condition is growing. There's over 84 million Americans that are at risk that are living with pre-diabetes, so their A1C is at an elevated percentage, not quite ready to be diagnosed as type 2. And that's one thing is the Muscatine Diabetes Project that we've seen. Type 1 diagnosis used to be in youth, that's 18 and younger. We are seeing diagnoses in 20s, 30s, and 40s. But on the reverse side, we're also seeing type 2 youth diagnoses in children. And over 57,000 youth are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So these are youth underneath the age of 18 that are on metformin. And so that's when we looked at growing our programs, we looked at how can we educate our youth in our community, and how can we help individuals here in Muscatine County, because approximately about 15,000, if you look at the percentage of our county, are at risk of developing diabetes.
And that's why, having a local organization like the Muscatine Diabetes Project is so important, because you're able to not just look at it at the macro national level, you're able to look at it at the county level, and see how it's affecting our community and our county. And that is so important that we have that resource that is funding not just programs to educate, but also funding maybe some opportunities of partnering with public health, and those that how it's a far-reaching partnership, so much of what you are involved with.
Yeah, and that's what our mission is supporting individuals that live with diabetes and empowering them to live a healthy lifestyle and encouraging them as well. But it's also partnering with our community health and wellness agencies here in the community. That's very important to us.
Yeah, and again, the Muscatine Diabetes Walk is Friday, May 4th. You can register for that event. You can go to muscatinediabeteswalk.com. I'm looking at it right now. You've got the registration form that you can print out, and get involved with that way. And it's something you can sign up. There's a link that you can click on to sign up for online registration. Or if you just realize that it's May 4th and maybe you were going to celebrate Star Wars or something because it's Star Wars Day, but you decide, hey, let's walk as a family first and support this great thing. You can register that day. You can come and pay your registration and
Right.
enjoy the event. And last year there were some bounce houses and stuff.
Yep.
Last year.
Yeah, actually we have a fun zone, which Muskie Jump Inflatables has a inflatable there for us to use. We have a vendor zone, so we have a lot of pharmaceutical reps. We have resources here in Muscatine to talk to you, to give you information, and then we have a food zone. So we have a lot of food available because we want people to come and enjoy. And like I say, it's a family event, but it's celebrating individuals living with diabetes. It's giving them that day, making them a little special of living with that disease.
I love it because you see the kids who have it. They have juvenile diabetes, and their friends all have T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, they're supporting their buddy's team, and you can see some of these pictures that we're bringing up now. You can see teams from the past and businesses that really get behind it here in our community, because it's such a to be able to put a face to a disease, I think, is really important. And like, again, some of my friends growing up had juvenile diabetes, and so I was always aware of it. You know, but sometimes just seeing that group of friends and seeing that business, you may not have realized one of your coworkers was diabetic because you just didn't talk about it. And it's really cool to see the community come together and everyone's supporting each other. And you know, the cheerleaders come out and do their thing, and you know, it's always a fun evening. We're going to talk a little bit more about it right now, though. We're going to go to our Toyota of Muscatine cart cam, as Chef Tess is going to be filling that cart cam, and they're going to be getting it all full, because we're going to be talking with Chef Tess in the second segment of the show, or in the third segment, about, you can see the cart cam from Toyota of Muscatine is going to be getting rolling here. And this is such a cool thing. That big thank you to our friends at Toyota of Muscatine, who support all sorts of local organizations, as well as sponsoring our cart cam as we get ready for Easter. And then coming up, after we go to the cart cam, Nora Dwyer is going to step in and join Kim, because Nora is very involved with food programs in our community as well. So we will learn more. So here we go, Toyota of Muscatine cart cam getting ready right now. I love this shot. You can see the whole store, some of these events, and picking up some ingredients for some things that Chef Tess is going to be talking to us more about the pantry, as we all have that moment, especially around the holidays, where you think you have to make something and you're like, man, I wish I had that here in my pantry. And the cart cam is going to pick up some of those items, and we'll be talking more with Tess after this. I need one of these for like my bike, or I don't know who I would show it to, but maybe put a stroller, be a lot slower, and you'd have my youngest son throwing stuff out of the stroller as we went. But getting some sauces there. It's almost grilling season, so there's all your barbecue sauces and ketchup. And of course, it's always ketchup season when you have kids.
Yeah, that is true.
3 kids under the age of 7. I think we keep Heinz in business. We should get the cart cam on the shoppers who do the aisles online for people when they are delivered, because we're big fans. We order our groceries and they're delivered, and so we should get the cart cam, some live action shots of people picking up groceries in the morning. So Nora Dwyer is here joining us, and Nora, you have been involved with the Diabetes Project as well, and it also kind of dovetails into some of the other things that we're talking about in our community. Diet is such an important part of managing, type 1 diabetes, as well as managing type 2 diabetes. But there are so many folks in our community who may be afflicted by these medical conditions, but also have almost a double whammy where food is not always available to them readily.
Yep.
And food insecurity is a big thing in Muscatine, and you've got a program tonight that's going to be talking a little bit more about that.
Yes, so out at MCC, the McAvoy Center tonight at 7 o'clock, we're going to be having a panel discussion about food insecurity, and we've got some really interesting folks that are coming in. Our local representatives, Alicia Eggers from the School Nutrition Program, Bill Dyer from the Muscatine Community Food Pantry, Nicole Sorgenfry with United Way, who coordinates the food rescue program, and then 2 other individuals, Mike Miller, who is president and CEO of Riverbend Food Bank, and then Mark Patton, who's been involved in some social agencies and kind of giving us a perspective on the federal level where things are. The program is being provided by the League of Women Voters of Muscatine. The idea is to inform people about different issues that are going on in the community, so that when it comes to voting and understanding what our state and federal legislators are doing, that we are a little bit more informed about it.
And that's something that directly affects Iowa, it directly affects the Midwest, because we're large producers of this food that is available to these folks. And the League of Women Voters does a great job. They're not a partisan organization. This isn't about Republican or Democrat. They're truly just trying to get as much information to the public so that we can make decisions based on what is best for us and what we feel is best for us. And that's why a program like this is so important, because I didn't realize until in a previous job I had a lot more contact, a lot more discussions with folks in that world, like Bill at the food pantry, Bill Dyer. I didn't realize how many regulatory authorities there were in just doing a nonprofit food bank, and I'm a county-based program. And understanding how government affects that is important, and also just understanding the need. I was dumbfounded by the need for the food pantry and the multiple food pantries in our community. It's pretty alarming when you think about it.
And I think one of the things that we're trying to create is more of a network locally, and that's where we have people with organizations like Kim's. Kim did a great job this last year in looking at items that are typically provided in a food drive. And so up on our Facebook page, and it's also on the Muscatine Diabetes Walk page, if you do have either a corporate or an organization that wants to do a food drive, here are some healthier options. There are so many choices when it comes to food and nutrition, and I think that's part of the complicated part of it, right, Kim? Is like, or that you're either in a crisis, you don't have enough money, or you've been diagnosed with a disease like diabetes. And how do you make choices that are good for you health-wise, but also good for your budget?
That is correct.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I know Hy-Vee does a lot with donating food, because there are some things that they have to take off of their shelf, but it's still good food, and they're able to donate to the pantry. I know that some other businesses have done, like the Master Gardeners have done their program where they're donating fresh produce to the food pantries when it's in season. And those are the things that when we talk about diet, we talk about managing diseases like diabetes, being able to go to the food pantry and get fresh broccoli. It tastes good. It's not something that you get every time if you're utilizing the food pantry on a regular basis, but it's a healthier option. And if a family member may be managing diabetes or some other, maybe they have a cholesterol issue, it's a way to not just use medication to manage that. Having things like that available at the pantry are so important.
Yeah, and we're fortunate with Master Gardeners in the community, and Kim and I have talked about how there seems to be more healthier options, right? And your churches found that people are coming through and are asking for healthier items because they know they may have diabetes or a...
Right, yeah, I was sharing with Nora, our church does the outreach for the Riverbend Food Bank truck. And it's been interesting having the individuals the past year volunteering there, is to listen to them say, I can't have that because I have diabetes, and then they're so excited when there's the fresh produce that is ready to be handed out along with frozen food. So individuals are, if they're aware of their diabetes, are looking at that as those options of knowing what's more of a healthier choice for them to eat.
Yeah, and again, tonight at the McAvoy Center at Muscatine Community College, there will be this program to talk about food security, how the different entities are all working together to tackle this issue in our community. And Nora, what time is that again?
7 o'clock tonight at MCC. Yeah, so we appreciate MCC is involved in this and letting us use the facility, and all our partners that are trying to come together to talk about this issue and collaborate on it and trying to make a difference.
And it's so evident with all the entities that are collaborating there. The Muscatine School District, I know they've done a lot with the Diabetes Busters program. They're huge advocates for that. And they understand that there is no one way to tackle any issue in our community, let alone some of these widespread issues of health and wellness and food insecurity. And so it's great to see all of those organizations partnering in our community to execute a plan, a strategy for our area.
Yeah, great.
And supporting our residents that live in Muscatine County. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important. And again, the Muscatine Diabetes Walk is May 4th. You can go to muscatinediabeteswalk.com and register there. You also can go to their Facebook page and learn more information. And then Nora Dwyer, again, the MCC is a food insecurity program at MCC tonight at the McAvoy Center, put on by the League of Women Voters. And it's exciting to see this all going on. So if you've got nothing to do tonight, go check that out. And let's see everyone on May 4th. At the Fun Zone again. Great day for the kids. And ladies, thanks so much for taking some time with us today.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joel.
It's fun. It's like old hat here.
You bet.
I've interviewed you guys many times, so I'm excited. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
So we're going to go ahead and Chef Tess will be coming in here pretty soon, and we're going to go ahead and go back to the aisles cam, the Hy-Vee aisle cam, and as we get set up for our next segment. Again, thanks so much, guys. Thanks for coming in.
All right, cool.
We're going to be talking about pantry. When Tony asked me to sit in and guest host, my wife, who avidly watches the show every morning, listens to it. She doesn't watch it because she's doing stuff with kids all day long. She does a great job. She's like, you're going to get to talk to Chef Tess. And I get excited because I'm a huge foodie. I'm a huge cook. That's like my hobby. I make all the meals. So we're going to be talking about pantry items. And we're going to have Chef Tess come on in as we've got the cart cam from Toyota of Muscatine pulled up here now. As they have secured some pantry items we're going to be talking about. And this is, there's some exciting, great catch there. This is a what is that sort of segment that we'll have coming up here. It looks like we are in the I'm not sure what aisle, the Hispanic aisle. Yeah.
Aisle number 3.
You're so good with all the aisles. I remember when I worked at the Hy-Vee in Sioux City, which strangely enough, one of our managers was Jim Simmons, who's the store director here in Muscatine. I got really good at learning where all the, there we go. There's some Chipotle.
Yep, that's one of the
Chipotle chilies, which are a great staple event ingredient to have, especially if you like spicy food. And then now you got your pasta sauces. And pasta sauce is one of those most important things to have in your pantry.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, if you're ever building a house, Tess, is that going to be the biggest room in your house? Are you going to have, what's going to be bigger, the closet in your bedroom or the pantry in your kitchen?
I would say the actual working area of the kitchen would probably be the biggest place.
Chicken stock.
But a well-organized pantry is super, super important. There's one of our online shoppers there you were talking about.
Yeah, those stocks are so important. Because you can do anything with those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I ever make rice, like even if it's minute rice, I don't know why I ever use water. I mean, if you've got stock in your pantry, you can make everything taste so much better.
Yep.
Just by, don't boil anything just in water again. You can use vegetable stock or chicken stock or beef stock. You add so much flavor to your meal.
A couple pinches of dried spices and you've got rice that's, not bland and it's actually got a little wow factor to it.
And it's inexpensive.
Really easy.
And we're not talking about expensive items either. A 32-ounce box of chicken stock's maybe a couple bucks.
Maybe, yeah. Dijon mustard. So that's one of the items that I always keep in my pantry. It's one of the basis ingredients that I use for all my homemade vinaigrettes.
Oh yeah.
It's an excellent thing to throw into a marinade.
I will roast my pork tenderloins with a Dijon mustard based wet rub on the outside.
Maybe a little garlic in there.
Yep.
You can mix it 50-50 with honey and you've got a dipping sauce for anything.
It's a great way to introduce that to kids too, because sometimes the Dijon mustard can be a little bit strong of a flavor, and put some honey in there, and it's a good way to get an inexpensive, different condiment in there for your kids.
Kind of tapers down the heat a little bit for the kiddos.
Which I selfishly do that with my kids, just because I want to be able to make stuff like that, and I just want them to get used to the flavors early on.
Absolutely.
So you can buy just the straight up balsamic glaze now.
Yeah, so the difference between balsamic vinegar and a balsamic vinegar glaze is the consistency of it. It's been reduced to remove some water, so it's thicker like a syrup.
Okay.
And we've got a couple different flavors and brands in aisle number 4. And I use these for, you can use them like right on a salad with just a dash of oil instead of a vinegar. You can use them, let's see, you can drizzle it over roasted vegetables and grilled meats after they come off the grill. It's got that really nice, it's like a vinegar bite, but it's also really balanced with the sugar in it. So it's just like ready to rock and roll right out of the bottle.
That would be really good on, maybe people this holiday. I know lamb is something that people might be making here at Easter, or maybe you're doing some people still do like duck and goose for Easter and things like that?
I don't know.
Maybe I've never had that, but I know that used to be one of those traditional meals. Chef Tess is here with us. We had the Toyota Muscatine cart cam showing some pantry items. The pantry. Why is it so important to have a well-stocked pantry in your house?
Well, life is busy, as we all know. Yeah. Especially those that have young kids at home. It's super, super busy. In a perfect world, you have all this time to figure out exactly what you're going to make for dinner, make time to go to the grocery store, come home, have all this ample time to prep. That's not really real life most of the time. Right. So when you have some things like in your pantry that are shelf stable, you have these tools at your hands to create something on the fly, is what we like to call it, for dinner. And you can kind of mess around with different flavors too. And the focus on some of these ingredients today is more, it's convenience, but also flavor, and kind of introducing yourself to things that you might not have at home already. One of my favorites is this Sambal Olek hot sauce. It's got the rooster on the front, just like sriracha. But this one, it's got a little bit more of like a vinegar flavor to it.
Sure.
So you can add more of it to dishes and get more flavor from it without all that like super spicy heat the sriracha has, which is why I like to recommend this. So even if you're not, it looks aggressive, especially with all the seeds in it. It looks really aggressive. It's not really that scary. So you can use that in marinades and sauces and things like that.
Well, and that's something too, is don't be afraid to taste an ingredient on its own. So you understand kind of the power of it. Whenever I cook, I always have a little teaspoon there with me, that if I'm using a new ingredient or it's making a sauce or something, I just always taste it. And I know that's something they teach you guys
absolutely.
in culinary school, and it's such an easy step that the home cook can do too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of helps you too when you can taste things separately. You're able to better figure out how like all the pieces of the puzzle fit together and how to balance the flavors. Lots of cooking is all about the balance of like fat and acid and sweetness and saltiness and things like that. And when you kind of can see how all the ingredients play on their own, you can bring them together on the table a lot more effectively. So
I think about when I started cooking, I was probably 13 or whatever. We took home ec class in middle school, and that's kind of how I got introduced. And my first thing was literally SpaghettiOs with meatballs. That was the first thing I ever really remember making. It's just in a can. You open it up and heat it up. It's not really cooking per se. It's just basically reheating something that someone else has already made. But I started experimenting, and chipotle peppers are one of the things that I remember my mom had in the pantry, and I put a couple chipotle peppers in my SpaghettiOs and completely blew my palate out of the water because I put way too much in there.
Yeah.
But I learned what that ingredient was, what it did, and those are something I use in my chili. I use them all of the time, and you can grill them. You can do stuff on the grill. Folks need to not be afraid to get like a cast iron skillet, and you can use that on your grill.
Yeah.
I mean, you can use your grill not just to cook meat. You can use it to cook an entire meal.
Yeah, we do that at home a lot because our exhaust fan in our house is not effective, and I'm used to like these huge industrial ones. So when I sear things at home, I tend to smoke out our house a lot. So putting a cast iron on the grill kind of eliminates that smokiness in your house and things like that. Sorry, you need to turn that.
Get that. And it's not just the actual peppers that are in those; it's the sauce too. You can take a couple teaspoons of the sauce and use that.
Throw it in a couple tablespoons of the sauce. Throw it into some mayo. Mix it up, and you've got something different for your sandwiches, for your lunches the rest of the week. I mean, that's like the easiest thing that I can think of to use that for. It's basically, these are smoked jalapenos, and they're packed in adobo sauce, which is a sauce that's made of dried chilies and vinegar and things like that. So it's just basically pure spicy flavor in a can.
Yeah.
And that you can use for anything. Chili, I never make chili without chipotle peppers in it. My barbacoa beef, pretty much any sort of like Mexican food I make has chipotles in it in some capacity. So
You're making me hungry. That's what we're doing here.
I'll whip up something when we're done.
And we were talking about the stocks here as well, and it's Lent, and there's a lot of folks who are very rigid with their diet during Lent. Vegetable stock is a great way to make you can make some vegetarian fried rice. You cook the rice in some veggie stock,
Yeah.
and then just heat up a skillet. Take some frozen peas, carrots, whatever. Throw it in there, a little bit of soy sauce, and scramble an egg, and there you go. You got fried rice.
Easy.
Nice
That
little
sounds
Lenten
great.
supper.
Why am I even here?
I may have done that a time or two. You're here because you can make it way better than I can. I just come up with the ideas. Tess probably gets tired when I come into the store. I'm always asking her ideas, and she knows I'm a big griller and that sort of thing. And,
I actually stole one of your ideas.
well, I used the idea that she's telling you, the Juicy Lucy burger, which is a cheese stuffed hamburger. Chef Tess makes this great pub spread that you can get just behind me here, over here by where all the cheeses are. And I take that pub spread and I get it really cold. I'll even maybe put it in the freezer just for a few minutes before I'm going to cook it. And I stuff that inside the burgers, and then I grill them up, and it's a Chef Tess pub spread Juicy Lucy, and they're ridiculously good.
It's a winner. Yeah, you told me about that, and we actually grilled out with some friends, and I stole your idea, and we did that as well, and it is like out of this world good.
Yeah, it's
Super
a good way to
naughty,
do it.
but
and the Dijon mustard, again, you can slather that on. Okay, are you a grilled bun or a regular not grilled bun?
Grilled
person?
bun.
Grilled bun. Me too.
buttered and grilled, preferably.
Buttered and grilled. You can also, if you're in a quick pinch, you can use if you have a bagel button on your toaster, you can throw the buns in there and hit the bagel button. You get a quick little toast on it.
It's not a bad idea.
And that's like a lunch, Saturday lunch, you're in a hurry sort of thing. But
yeah, that's a good chef hack for today. Chef Joel's hack for today.
we should have our own show. Tess.
Okay,
We should just come up with one.
We've got time to
And then
do
that balsamic glaze. I'm intrigued by this because I've tried to make my own, and I never do it right. I always burn it. I over-reduce.
It is a little tricky.
Once you get past a point, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's done if you take it too far. And that's why having this available on the shelf is so nice, because even as a chef, I can't tell you how many batches of balsamic glaze I have personally burnt, because you're perfect, and then it's too far gone in just a matter of seconds. So this is a great product to have around. Like I said, you can drizzle this over anything. You can drizzle this over, one of my favorite things to tell people is like a vanilla bean ice cream with maybe like some fresh strawberries on it, a little bit of mint or basil, and a small drizzle of this stuff, and it's going to elevate your dessert way past the point of just a regular bowl of vanilla ice cream.
And that's a great dessert. Sometimes desserts can just be overly sweet, and that's a way to kind of tame some of that sweetness out, but still maintain it feeling like dessert. Now, that's something you can probably get if you have Chef Tess come and cater your events, which I know you can call out to the store and do, and have her come and do some catering for you. But these are cool things that you can just do at home, and you could probably even, one of the things I love, a caprese salad. I love I'm not a huge raw tomato guy, but I like it with the fresh basil and the mozzarella. But sometimes the balsamic vinegar that people will put on it, it can overpower. It can really soak in too much. With the viscosity with that, you can use a little bit, and it'll go a long way, and it's not going to over soak the cheese or whatever.
Absolutely.
So
And it looks
for
prettier
that, too.
on the plate too, because balsamic vinegar just kind of like hits the liquid from tomatoes, and it kind of runs everywhere. Doesn't look super, super pretty. Right. This is going to kind of solve that problem as well. And
again, these are all great ideas as the holidays are coming around, and I think some people get stressed around the holidays, and it's just because they don't keep it simple. And these are really good ways to keep it simple, but still elevate your party, elevate your meal, and build some family traditions. You never know. This could be, you use one of these ingredients in a dish that you've made for years, and that becomes the new family tradition. That becomes the new Easter side dish. I know my grandma used to always say it wasn't a holiday. Our family didn't get together on the holidays. It was a holiday when we were all together. And a lot of the memories I have was, the food that my aunt always was a terrible cook, and so she would always just bring a crudité tray from Hy-Vee. But then I have one aunt who grew up in Eastern Europe, and she was always making stuffed mushrooms or pierogies or something like that. And you just have these memories from your family that are often associated with food, and Hy-Vee is definitely your headquarters to keep those going.
Absolutely. And you can always stop by if you're looking to put like a new twist on an old family recipe, or you're trying out something new, using ingredients you've never used before. That's a lot of time when people will stop by the station and just ask like, hey, where do I find this? What else can I use this for? Because I'm buying a whole bottle of, balsamic glaze, and I need to find ways to use up the rest of it. Like, stop by. That's what I'm here for. So just here to help you.
Yeah, and the big thing is, like you said, these are all shelf stable items, so they'll last a long time. And you can, with that sambal, you can use a little bit of it, put the jar back in the refrigerator. It's going to keep for a while. There are things that you can work into other things, and maybe you take a dish that you've always made. Maybe it's a pasta dish or something, and now you're making a in Southeast Asian pasta versus a heavy Italian pasta that you've made 100 times.
Absolutely.
This is a way to use that same noodle that's also in your pantry, just in a little bit different way. And utilizing those frozen meats are always so important too. Like, you can get the pre-cooked chicken strips and things. We were talking about busy. I have 3 kids. We have baseball, soccer, piano, dance, all these things going on in our house. Being able to go to those quick frozen things and using sauces and things like this out of your pantry, you can make a great meal in 30 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Breakfast for dinner comes into play.
Yes, we're big.
There.
We're big. We call it brupper in
Brupper.
our house. We're
That's
big
nice.
brupper folks, and always have a Ziploc bag of frozen pancakes in the freezer for maybe a Saturday morning or something like
Absolutely.
that. So,
Absolutely.
Always important. It's better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a walking taco from a concession stand, but if you can get a little bit more health and a little bit more a consistency in your kids' diet and your diet as a parent, that's always a good thing too. So.
Absolutely.
Tess, thanks so much for coming in.
having
And again,
me.
if you have any questions, come out. We're right next to Chef Tess's station here, right by aisle 2 and aisle number 1, right behind the deli counter, which sun-dried tomato turkey breast, that's a staple in our house. You can get that at the deli counter as well. So this is, again, Joel Krausar sitting in for Tony Tone here on Hy-Vee today. Tess, thanks so much for coming in. We're going to go to the aisle cam one more time here. As you can see, people starting to check out and get their day rolling. This is the time of day you should come grocery shopping. I'm learning that, like hanging out here. It's a little less crowded. You can kind of just go and do your thing. So if you're available this time of day, come out here. And again, there's a big Easter grilling sale that's going on Friday and Saturday of this month, March 30th and 31st. So that's Friday and Saturday. As the weather is going to hopefully turn here, you can start doing your grilling season. Great things like 8 for $10 on the boneless pork loin muskie chops. Your Choice Reserve New York strip, $7.99 for the 12-ounce steak. And then you've got your ground chuck patties, 5 ounces. They're $85.15. When you're making burgers, get that little bit higher fat content because it's going to cook at that high heat. That'll give you a nice, moist burger. So look at those $85.15, $8 for $10. And then your $3.99 sweet corn. Also, I just saw this. You can scroll down there. If you're a beer drinker and you like Bud Light Lime, you might like this Bud Light Orange that just came out. It's brand new this year. 6-pack for $6.99. I'm a little intrigued to try that. And then also you got your Char King charcoal with a 10-cent fuel saver, as well as a fuel saver on the kitchen salads, 10 cents for every pound that is purchased. So great deals for your food saver here in the store as we get the Hy-Vee Easter season ready again. I'm Joel Krausar with Affordable Metal Manufacturing sitting in for Tony Tone. I will be here tomorrow as well. It's March 27th. A big thank you to Brooke, my general manager, and owner Russ Miller, who's letting me sit in here on this show. Again, we're Affordable Metal Manufacturing. If you come to Hy-Vee, you look right up the road with the old Muscatine Racquetball Club as well, where you'll find me every day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Metal roofing, but we're more than that. Your steel buildings, we can do anything from an ag building to a full, we're working on some 17,000 square foot building right now. So we can do anything from a small shed for a lawnmower. And so we're not just the roofing and the siding. We can get you the whole structure as well. So again, big thank you to Hy-Vee for having me co-host today. And we're looking forward to it. This is Hy-Vee Live every Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. And also you can rewatch it at 7:30 and 10 on Muscatine Power and Water, the Remax channel. Let me just make sure I got those times right here. as I go back and double check all that. So much information for me this morning going through my mind. It has been a lot of fun. Big thank you to Kim Seligman from the Muscatine Diabetes Project and Nora Dwyer, who does a lot with food security in our community. Again, the Muscatine Food Security presentation will be at the McAvoy Center at Muscatine Community College at 7, and the Muscatine Diabetes Project Walk is on May 4th at registration beginning at 5 p.m. You can go to muscatinediabeteswalk.com to register for that. Yes, and you can watch the rebroadcast of Hy-Vee today at 7:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. on MPNW Channel 5, thanks to Remax. Big thank you to Chad Yoakum, Sean Broderson, and their team with Media Tree as they bring this every single day. Thanks so much for listening and watching today, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks for watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community. Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.